My name is Olga Smola, and I'm violin faculty at the University of Nebraska in Omaha. And we have a wonderful tradition to create this help tutorial for you to prepare for all-state orchestra auditions. And I'm going to talk today about Tchaikovsky Capriccio Italien. Pretty complicated stuff, especially in the tempo, which is marked here in the notes, and I want you a little bit calm down. Nobody can play in this tempo, so do not be worried about that. So I think if you can achieve tempo like 60, it's kind of great, but if you can do it in the tempo 50, it's great too, so do not worry about that part. I will give you some little tips how you can work on that better, faster, and what you should do. So with the pizzicato part, my only recommendation will be to play in the first position. You will have my music, you can upload the music from down here below, it will be uploaded there. And be sure that you put your thumb on your fingerboard. In this case, you will be able to play pizzicato louder, and your arm will have more stable position. But now let's go to the interesting part, which starts in bar 156, right? And the first 3 lines up to bar 162, it's pretty easy. It's just scales. If you practice scales, it will be easy for you. If you don't, it will be a little bit more complicated, but it's still, you kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone, since you practice scale and you practice an excerpt. Wonderful, right? But then you need to be sure that in the pause between these complicated passages, you prepare for the next one as fast as you can. What do I mean? So you play the first passage, and immediately after you finish to do it, you put your finger on the right spot and you put your bow on the right spot as well, immediately, and you're ready to go. This is very important thing here. Then you need to be ready to play all passages at once. What I mean, you need to know some particular helpful tips for you, and I put them in the music as well. But let's discuss some particular bars. For example, in bar 162, I put D natural sign above the note D, because you visually will see that your 3rd finger after G sharp on D string need to be placed on another spot on A string, half step lower. And visually when you see that, hopefully little by little you will do it automatically. First in a slower tempo, then a little bit faster, but be careful about that. Right? Then bar 163, I really recommend you to consider this as F sharp minor. And then the same story with the next bar. You need to be sure that you hear this particular scale with these 2 bars. But with the next bars, everything is becoming more interesting and more complicated, because sometimes it's not easy to hear. We do not see and we do not have particular scale. So then we need to be sure that we know what is the distance between our fingers in each particular bar and in each particular passage. Like I will take an example in the bar 165, for example. So it's very important that we know where we start, C sharp, and where we end. These two notes are very important. If you play them in tune, in between, yeah, I don't want to say that it's not important what you play in between, but in faster tempo it can like a little bit slip away from hearing, but very important, the last note is heard really well, so you need to be sure that it's perfectly in tune. But then in between these notes we need to know that the patterns between our fingers. So for this bar 165, for example, we have whole half on G string, right? And then we have half whole on D string. And if you know that, and if you tell this to yourself in a slower tempo first, then you can build muscle memory. So what do I mean? First you play it slow, to be sure that you know exactly where you put your fingers to keep the right distances between them, whole or half steps. Then you little by little increase the tempo, then faster. And what else you can do to practice every single particular passage from this excerpt, you can start to play just with 3 notes, or with 4. Separately 4 notes, and then separately the next 4 notes, and then do it like that. And then you combine and play the whole bar together. Then you do the same with the next bar, starting from slow tempo, increase tempo little by little, figure out in the very beginning what is the distance between notes, and then after you succeed with the bars 166, you try to combine bars 165 and 166, and little by little you move forward with playing the right notes in a fast tempo. So I would not recommend to practice it only slowly, because it's very complicated to learn how to run if you just walk, right? So you need to learn how to run. So be sure that from the very beginning you put yourself under a little pressure and you do not play just in a slow tempo. One more important thing, I warn you to practice these like that, with huge bow, playing loud. This will not help you, because you need to build synchronical work between your arms from the very beginning. And the place where you will play it, it's somewhere here. You need to find a comfortable place. You should be right on the string, deep in the string, and with little amount of bow. So even when you play in a slow tempo and just practice, do it with little bow, very deep in the string, digging into the string, and practice with the right amount of bow from the very beginning. The last thing what I would like to tell you, it's about the last passage which starts in the bar 172, and this is E flat major scale. If you practice this scale, it should be easier for you to play this passage. But what I would like you pay attention to is that shifts should be very fast and very light. You kind of need to be sure that your left hand is very light and not heavy. So your bow on the other side dig really deep into the string. So it's very interesting combination when your bow is very well rested on the string, and your left hand should be very light, like a feather. And I would really recommend you to focus on these feelings in your arms from the very beginning. So even when you play it slow, be sure that you feel how light is your left hand and left fingers. Especially when you play these fast shifts. One important tip for you, try to play these scales with dynamic range. What do I mean? Try to build melodic sentence going up, it's crescendo, and then a little bit diminuendo, like this. And this will help you to move the melodic sentence further and will help you to play it more musically, which we need even with these passages, and also will help you to organize it a little bit better. Also, please pay attention to little triangles which I put in the music. They means that you have half step between notes, in this between particular notes what you see in the music. These are my main recommendations. I hope this will help you to prepare for the audition. And reminder, do not play in the tempo and do not even try to play in this tempo. It's not necessary because it's almost impossible to do. Thank you for your attention and good luck.